Okay, in the last video, what we did was we talked about the overall setup of the interface. And as I said in the ending of that last video, I want to go through and break down each category in more detail so that you'll understand more clearly why I have it set up this way. And the first two things I think I can deal with in this short video is the command line at the bottom here, and also the quick access customize quick access toolbar here at the top. So with that being said, let me just turn this video off. Okay, so in the command line, I'm not sure how many people still use the command line. I don't use it a lot, but if you needed to see more, as I said before, you can spread this open and then type in any command in here and activate it. But a lot of people are doing it in the screen area. So if I wanted to uh, type in, I don't know, cloud, I could activate anything to do with it, but most likely I'm going to go to the ribbon here and set it up that way. So that's why I say keep this slim, because the bigger you make it, the more room it takes up on the screen. Now, more importantly, here at the top, this customize quick access toolbar. Uh, Most people don't even know this exists unless you're, been in it's been brought to your attention. And so when you first load AutoCAD onto your computer and you open it up, from this point to the left is a default, all default commands. Whereas if you use a command on a regular basis, you want to add that to this area of your screen so that you can access them quickly. And again, these are just the ones you would use on a regular basis. If you have access to these commands here in the ribbon, then you might as well use them here. And I do use both, but these are the ones I use a lot. So the way to get these up here, and you can see the ones that I have. And if you wanted to add more to it, you select here and you can type in whatever command you need and it will come up in this list. Or you can, let me cancel this, the same exact thing, just type in CUI, custom user interface, and it brings up a larger dialog box here with access to any command. So for instance, the first one I have here is the drawing properties dialog box. And if I select on that, let me exit out of here for a second and I bring this is how I have information here to be set up. So anything that has a white background, which is called a field, it is set up through this box. Now, I actually created this by typing in or selecting the add button and creating each one of these categories. So if I want to change any information about the title block, it is going to be in here. So that's why I have this button put up here at the top. Now, I'm going to show you how to do that, but you can access this, and I'm going to show you why this, if I select on it, brings it up very quickly. Whereas if I had to go through the A here at the top, drawing utilities, going to drawing properties, it took several steps for me to get to that point. Whereas if I want to change anything about the title block that is a field, I can change it here real quickly and then regen, and that information is already set up. And this is all tied on each sheet. So if you were to attempt to change this text by just any other means, by typing in information here, you will have taken the connectivity between these pieces of text away from yourself. And it's just easier for you to go to one location in the properties dialog box and fix it. So that's why it's here. So I'm going to show you how to put this in, and then I'll describe each one of these here in a little bit more detail. So again, if you type in CUI at the command line, and I put in drawing properties, you'll see that it comes up here. And if I press down on my left button of my mouse and drag this up here to the top, you'll notice it has a circle with a line through it until I get to this area. And if I let go of that button, you can see that it adds it up here. So if I close this, I'm going to disregard that and select on it. That's how easy it is. So I'm going to remove this from there because I don't need it. Now, the second one is make marks blocks. Now, if you're used to creating blocks, you can type in B at the command line, and the very first command or block, command that comes up is block. So if you were to do that without putting yourself on the zero layer, it can become a problem if you happen to be on the wrong layer at that time. You don't want your blocks to be on some haphazardly different layer. You want to be on the zero layer when you're creating that block. Doesn't matter what you can put items on their own layer, but when you make them a block, you want to be on the zero layer. So what I did was I created using the block make block command, which is in AutoCAD. So if I type in CUI, I can type in make block right here, and I can drag that up here. So what I did was I right clicked on this and I made a copy, and then I changed the name to mine, and then I added a macro in here which basically starts the command, but it starts it on the zero layer. So if I activate that command through my command block here, basically it will put me on the zero layer. So if I select cloud, now I'm on the cloud. If I select this button, it automatically put me on the zero layer and activated the block command. So therefore I can go ahead and actually start using that command to create a block, and I'm on the zero layer. So it's just a safeguard. The third one I have on here is dimension text editor. So if for some reason I want to, you can grab on this text here like this, and it goes with my ortho, mine goes horizontally or vertically. But if I just want to, for instance, and I can show you using this here, if I select on it, you can move this around. Now, I typically don't use it for that purpose. However, if I am in a section and I want to move this text around when I first make that dimension, let's say I make a small dimension like that, and I wanted to put a leader in, I would put the leader in, and then I would go up and I would select on that. You can actually grab it with the grip and do the same thing, but if it happens to be on top of something else, it might snap strange. So I just have a tendency to want to use this because it's more accurate for me to use that. So I'm going to get rid of this text here. The next item is a purge and audit. Now, most people don't know about the audit and the purge, but if you do an audit of your drawing periodically throughout the day and purge gets rid of all the background information that you don't really see, but it is in your drawing and it creates clutter, and sometimes it will allow your create a crash in your drawing. So that's what those two are for. And again, you type in the CUI, type in purge or audit, and drag those to your tool palette. Okay, the next one is match properties. And if you want to match any properties to anything, say for instance, this is the line and this is say on the object layer, and I want to match this line to this, I would go over here to match properties and I would select, and that matches those two. I can also use that for instance, if I do a standard leader text and I want to match it to another style. For instance, I think it's this one here. I can basically match properties. Let me draw that text up here. And if I wanted to match this to this, I would go and it matches those two. So you can use match properties for a lot of different things, and it's just useful to have up here. So the next one is M text edit. So if you wanted to M text edit, you would just select on it. Actually, let me see here. Let me get to a piece of text. That's actually, it's got to be M text. Okay. So if I wanted to text or in text edit, I can just select on that and it brings up this box. So I use that a lot too. Then you have a polyline edit. Now I use this a lot when I'm actually creating walls, and I'll come back in another video and explain this a little bit more detail, but I have a tab here with all the different wall types and then some hatches and then some different wall sections and then some breaks. Now I don't use the breaks as much anymore because I have a border that I frame out each one of these. But if I were to draw a standard 4 7/8 wall and put my ortho, I'll turn that there and then select, let's say for instance, near, that's my wall. Now these are all individuals. So if I did the polyline edit and I selected the down arrow on my keyboard and selected multiple, right click twice and hit join and then twice. Now it's one line. So then I can just bring in a hatch. Let's say 1/16 here. In this case, yeah, 1/16, and it fills that in. So that's why I use that. So that's in a nutshell. And then I explode up here because occasionally I have to do a lot of exploding. So it's nice to have that command there. So this is just all the commands that you're going to use on a regular basis, and that's why you would want those up there so that you don't have to go searching for them in the um, ribbon here on the side. In the next video, I'm going to talk about the ribbon more specifically about how you can clean that up.